Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday night. Stephanie here, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about, are you a list builder? So what do I mean by that? So I was reading an article today. I read lots of articles every day that pop up, and one of them was talking about, are you a list builder or a scheduler? And I thought, I'm definitely a list builder. I could show you sticky notes full of lists. I like to make lists to cross things off the lists. But it was a really surprising article because they said, and let me know in the comments if you're catching this hashtag live or hashtag replay. One of the things they talked about is they said using lists to organize your day and sort of determine how your day is going to go is like using an outdated operating system. In fact, I think they said using lists to run your life is like running your computer on Windows 95, which none of us would do anymore. And I thought, oh, that's weird. I like lists. But here's a couple of things that they talked about with regards to lists. And again, in the comments, let me know if you're a list builder or a scheduler. They said people add things to a list. At the end of the day, you probably have more things on your list than you've crossed off. So it starts to add up over time that your brain is always like, you said you'd do these things, but you didn't get them done. So now who's causing you not to get things done? And you start to think in your brain over time that you're maybe the reason that you're not getting all the things crossed off of your list, which isn't true. It's just about how you're using your time and some of the distractions that a list can actually create. So again, adding things to your list and not getting them crossed off or not getting them done and just having that continuous ongoing list that just travels from one day to the next or 1 week to the next actually causes your brain to start to think, I'm not very good at getting things done. So there's a psychological component to that. And so it says, is your list ever complete? And when you don't complete it, it actually starts to take a psychological toll on you because again, what you say you're getting done, you aren't. And so one of the things it said is actually having a list or a to-do list that you have to do and you have those things on your list, and then you actually take some time to have some fun, your brain is still thinking about that list and it's still saying you still have 10 things on the list, so you can't really have a lot of fun until you get the things done on your list. And so it's, again, not helping you to kind of relax during the time that you need to relax. And it also says if you start your day with a to-do list, the list will actually run your day. And I thought, well, I start my day with a list. It tells me what I need to do for the day. The challenge is when you check your list, it gives you permission to almost get distracted. So you look at the list and you think, oh, well, I could do this first. I like doing that. So then you get busy with that. And then you go back to the list and you think, I should probably do that report or that other piece that I need to do. But look, I can rearrange these things, or I can cross this little thing off my list. And so what it says is every time you get distracted by something little on your list, or you're going to start something big and then you think, oh, I have one more thing I could do over here, you actually use up your energy and your highest productivity time doing all those little things. So when you're supposed to do the bigger thing on your list, you don't really have the energy and you're tired, or maybe there's just not enough time and it's going to be lunch. So then why start that anyway? So in that way, a list is actually not helping you. It's actually distracting you, is what it said. So what's the answer? And so I was curious in this article, if they're saying lists aren't the way to go, if lists are like using an outdated operating system, then what do you do? And let me know in the comments if you have any really great suggestions for how to get things done in a day and make you feel like you're getting things accomplished. So what they suggested was the answer is scheduling. And I've heard this before, and I have the paper planner, I have the digital calendar, and it says, to schedule your day. You actually need to say that at this time, this is the block that I'm going to deal with emails. This is the block that I'm going to work on my bigger project. And if the bigger project is harder and requires you to focus a little bit more, then what you want to do is put that in the time that's your highest productivity. So schedule the things you need to get done in times that make sense. You can chunk the big tasks out over several days because they don't stay on your list just waiting and getting pushed off until you've procrastinated and now you have to get it done and it's kind of a rush. So the answer they talked about was scheduling. And I'm curious if there's many of you out there that are schedulers. Do you have techniques that make that work? How do you build the flex into the day? What happens if you're on a roll and you're in that flow state? Maybe we'll have to talk about flow state at some point. But if you're in that flow state, do you just keep going and bump the other tasks? Or when that time is done, do you move on? So that's my tip for the day is, are you a list builder or a scheduler? And perhaps if you want to increase your productivity, opportunity, you might want to switch to being a scheduler. So let me know in the comments if you're interested on a link to a couple of the articles that I was reading, or if you have some tips for me, that would be great. Shoot me a message. I would love to hear those. So stay tuned for part 2 coming up on a future day, maybe next Tuesday, maybe later this week, on how you can actually pick up some scheduling tips. So drop me a comment if you're interested in learning more scheduling tips, and stay tuned for part 2. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.